All right, guys, here we go. Mike Gonsalves here from the Wellness Bucket. Hugely excited, fired up to be chatting with John Lee Dumas here today from Entrepreneur on Fire, EO Fire, if you will. It's an award-winning podcast where he interviews today's most successful entrepreneurs 7 days a week, FYI. I've been fortunate enough to be one of them. And now you've interviewed over, I think, 1,400. Is that right, 1,400?
Yeah.
That's insane, man. And EO Fire also has over 1 million monthly listens. And you're also the creator of the Freedom Journal, which is an awesome resource to setting and accomplishing, bam.
Choose freedom, baby.
Yeah, your number one goal, which we're definitely going to dive into. But more than anything, man, just thanks for your time for being here, John. I really appreciate it, man.
Mike, you're a friend. I wish I was still in San Diego. I miss it, but I am here in lovely Puerto Rico. I'm excited to chat with you today. I don't like talking about anything more than I like talking about goals and health. So let's just mix this up and have some fun.
Let's do this, man. I'm jealous, by the way. I love San Diego, Puerto Rico. The pictures you put up, you drive me nuts, man. So what I want to dive into today, man, it's safe to say you know a thing or two about entrepreneurship. Not just because of your own success. 1,400 entrepreneurs you've interviewed now. That's pretty wild. When it comes to creating a healthy business, I think there's something to be said about creating a healthy mind, healthy body to go along with that. Well, the way we create that, I mean, we set goals for ourselves. Hey, how do I create a healthy mind, healthy body, healthy business? You are one of the best I've seen do that. I mean, even with your Freedom Journal, which we'll talk about here in a second. But what I want to ask out of the gate, man, why is it, and maybe it's a, oh my God, really question, but why is it so important to set goals? Why is that so important, John?
So if you were to take off out of San Diego to come visit me in Puerto Rico and you just took off and you're just like, all right, let's just go that way. You would probably come somewhere around the East Coast because you'd be able to like see where the sun was rising or something, but you wouldn't get to Puerto Rico. You wouldn't have a clear idea of what your destination was. And that's a goal. And it's sad, but so many people will look back and they're just like, wow, like I really never set any clear goals in my life. Like I might have like said something, I might have done this, I might have done that, but I never set like a clear, specific, and what we'll get into a little bit later, SMART goal. And that's why I'm looking back over my life and it's not surprising. I haven't really accomplished anything. I haven't reached any real destination because I haven't set any real goals. So if you want to actually get somewhere in life, you got to define where there is and then come up with this very strategic plan, step by step, to get to that destination. And that's why I created the Freedom Journal, because that is your guide.
Yeah, that Freedom Journal is incredible. And I want to touch upon something you said. It's one thing to know where you're going, and some of us can know where you want to go. Like, for example, let's just take health real quickly. I want a six-pack. I want to qualify for the Boston Marathon. You know what you want, but how do you get there? And you just said something today, man, that I want to actually mention. You said something today in an email you sent out. You said it's easier to be consistent when you have a strategy. So it's one thing just to have a goal, but what's your strategy to achieve it? Six-pack, run a healthy business, have a healthy mind. So goal setting is huge. Now, with that said, I want to know, what is this Freedom Journal? How does it work? So how do we set these effective goals? And that's the reason why I keep referring to Freedom Journal is because it's probably one of the best tools I've seen to set like effective goals, like really, truly effective goals. So what is the Freedom Journal? What's that all about?
Well, first off, you have a six-pack, and I'm jealous. Secondly, very well done to take an email that I wrote this morning and to integrate it into this episode. So kudos to you. Very impressive. And number three, you said a couple of times, the Freedom Journal is great about setting goals, and it really is. But just to be very clear, the Freedom Journal is amazing on setting and accomplishing that goal in a set time frame of 100 days. So let's use a great example. Let's go back to the six-pack, because it's something that I'm working on, and it's something that you have, and something that we all want. So the six-pack, let's talk about it. A lot of people are going to say, well, I want to lose weight, because of course, if you lose weight, you're going to lose fat, and you're probably going to start have that six-pack show a little bit better. Well, a lot of people say that. And the problem with that is that only hits one of the 5 attributes of a SMART goal. It hits the very first attribute. It's specific. You want to lose weight. That's great. That is a specific goal. Now you have to add the other 4 attributes if you want to make it a meaningful SMART goal. So let's go through it. Specific. Yep. I want to lose weight. Measurable. Well, I want to lose 10 pounds. Now it's measurable. Now you know what your actual goal is. Is it attainable? Well, honestly, if I said I wanted to lose 50 pounds, that's not attainable, because if I'm 120 pounds, like, I'm a skeleton, period.
Right.
For some people, that's attainable, but you really have to think about that. So for me, I know that 10 pounds is attainable because I've been at 165. I know what 165 looks like. So that is attainable for me. But is it relevant? And this is something that a lot of people don't think about until it's too late. They get really close to accomplishing their goal and they say to themselves, even if I accomplish this goal, it's not really going to make a meaningful impact on my life. Like, what am I doing here? Then they quit. So is it relevant? And for me, yes, losing 10 pounds is relevant because I want to look better. I want to feel better, etc. And then T, is it time bound? Are you setting time boundaries? Because there's a huge law, and I'm a big, big believer in it. And it's Parkinson's law, and that's tasks will expand to the time that you allot them. Parkinson's law. And so if you just don't set any kind of a time boundary, then you might lose 10 pounds, but it's going to take a year, 2 years, 3 years, because it's going to keep expanding. But if you set it, and that's why the Freedom Journal is very specific, 100 days, that finishes off that T in the SMART goal: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound. Boom.
That's phenomenal. I love that law. I don't think I've ever heard of that before, but man, I'm going to use that big time. I love that. And actually,
give me credit twice, Mike, and then it's yours forever.
That is money. And FYI, I actually was going to go through it. You just did it. I wanted to go through a SMART goal. No, that was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. If someone's unclear about how to set it, just watch that back like a couple of times. You nailed it. How to set a SMART goal. That was awesome. Now let me ask you something. This Freedom Journal, right? Or any goal, I keep going back to Freedom Journal just because I love it. And I'm going to share with you the power it has, just me personally as well. Oh, yeah. But it's a Freedom Journal. You can use the techniques, the strategies. John, is it important to write? Because you hear this all the time, and I see it all the time. Physically write down. And it's designed to write in. Is it important to write it down, or can you just take it and just kind of hold it up here? Do you need to actually write down the goals and follow through that way?
So I'm not a woo-woo guy. Like, I'm really not. Like, I'm not that person that's just like, oh my God, like, think it and it will appear. Like, no, because that's just not how I operate. That's not how I think. So for me, like, I've really found some truths over the years that really do work. And they work for me, and they work for over the 16,000 Freedom Journal copies that we've now sold. And people talk about it over and over again. Like, when I first was going to launch a Freedom Journal, people were like, John, why would you ever launch a physical product? Like, you got to actually like find someone to make it. You got to ship it. You've got to deliver it. You got to do all these different things. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but people need to have, and you held it up there for a second, this beautiful gold embossed hardcover stunning journal.
Awesome.
That is like, it's like their accountability part of it won't let them fail. We spend all day just like typing things and sending them off to the ether, like the words disappear and they're gone. But when you sit down and you take that pen and you put that pen to a piece of paper and you're writing it down, it's being inscribed in your brain as you're doing that, because you're moving and you're creating that. And, again, I'm not a big woo-woo guy, but like, I'm a big believer that, we don't connect with the earth as much as we should either. Like, when I was in San Diego, I would go out on the bay and I would walk barefoot because, we are meant to connect with this earth. We're not meant to just be like separated by asphalt and plastic and carpet and stuff. So like, you want to just get back to the roots. And like, if you are incredibly happy where you are right now, like, wonderful, keep doing whatever that is. But if you think that like there's things in your life that you haven't accomplished that you want to, well, maybe it's time to try something like this and actually take a pen, put it to paper, and write down what I am saying is going to become your legacy, because you are going to accomplish something so meaningful in 100 days. It's going to start that chain reaction of awesome by knocking over that one big domino. Like, Mike, EO Fire, to me, this was my one goal that I had in 2012. I'm like, I'm going to launch a podcast. I blocked everything else out. And in 3 months, 100 days, I launched EO Fire, and knocking over that domino opened up all the doors behind it that never would have been opened without accomplishing this number one goal first. So accomplishing one goal is like opening a door to your future, and that's where the power lies.
I love that, man. You just what you said, that you like just own it, and when you put it to paper, like, you're serious. Like, you're serious. It's not just a thought. Look, man, I'm going to take the time to put it to paper. I'm serious. I'm going to own this, and you go after it. I'm going to share a quick story with the Freedom Journal. And you can call it coincidence. I don't think it is, man, because I've been wanting to kind of go speak. I have clients. I have wellness coaching clients online. I do fit camps. But one of the things I wanted to do more, John, is actually go chat with organizations, to talk about health, wellness, healthy mind, healthy body, healthy business. And wouldn't you know it, you and I actually met up on the Bay for a workout, and you introduced me to the Freedom Journal, and I said that was in November, and I decided in December 1st last year, I'm going to start the Freedom Journal. Literally, and I actually counted 75 days, not even 100. The book says in 100, 75 days. I got an email saying, "Hey, Mike, we want you to come into our financial firm and give a talk to the people we serve." No, I kid you not. I will. Anyone who wants to, I will send you to the financial firm. 75 days, guys. I mean, it works. It's awesome. So I thank you, John. And I only bring that up not to like brag about myself, but to more to give credit to one. Yes, the Freedom Journal works, but to the power of setting goals, smart goals. And again, I wanted to share that with you, man. I don't think I've ever told you, but I wanted to let you know that did happen. I'm very grateful, so thank you.
It's my first time hearing it. I received that, so congratulations. That's amazing. And that really is the thing, is when you have to sit down and hold yourself accountable by looking at the Freedom Journal, and you start off and you say, number one, what are you grateful for today? And I'm sure like that was something interesting for you, Mike, is that you're a grateful guy. Like when we were hanging out on the Bay, like you mentioned like 3 or 4 things that you were grateful for. But a lot of times people get stuck in their ruts and they just kind of keep going back to those 3 or 4 things. But when every single day you open up that book and it's like, well, what are you grateful for today? You can repeat yourself. I don't say that you can't, but you want just naturally as a human to like, to keep pushing yourself to find new things that you're grateful for. And so by day 15, 20, 25, you're like, wow, like, it's hard to really like. I'm grateful that like these headphones right here block out the noise when the lawnmower is going in my backyard. Like I'm grateful for that, and like I never looked at my headphones with gratefulness before, but like now I am, and it's weird, but it just puts you in a different mind state. And then you move into what's your number one focus for the day, and once you get into that number one focus and you write that down, your whole day is now pulling you towards that focus. And there's other steps and there's other guidance. And then there's a nightly recap when you go back and you look at and you talk about your struggles and how to fix them. And you talk about your wins and how to amplify them. But just that action of writing down your number one focus at the beginning, you are now being pulled towards that like a magnet. And that pulled you in just 75 days to accomplishing that huge goal.
Yeah, it was. Sometimes I still don't believe it, but it's true. It happened, and I'm grateful. And there's just something again I want to reiterate, John, because I've been setting goals for for as long as I can remember, but I just wasn't reaching them. It's one thing to set them, but do you want to just set them and then forget them, or do you want to set them and then actually take action? And that's what it's helped me do. And I think that's the only way we achieve healthy mind, healthy body. Overall, what we're going for, healthy business, is by setting these smart goals. So thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. You know what I want to find out now? I want to get more into you personally, exercise. Now, you and I worked out in the Bay, right, when you were here. But now you're in Puerto Rico. I mean, what are you doing? Like, what's your workout, what's your exercise schedule look like now on a daily basis or weekly basis?
So my exercise schedule is pretty legit because I will say this. I'm 36 years old now, so I'm not a spring chicken. And, I just can't kind of shrug off, last night's pizza, if I ate pizza, which I don't. But I can't just shrug it off like I used to be able to back in college. Like it's much tougher. It's kind of funny. Like I tell people, I'm like, if I worked out like back when I was 26, like I did when I'm now 36, like I would have been a shredded machine. But now, like, I'm just like, hanging on. I mean,
come on. Give yourself some credit, my friend. I've seen you. Come on.
Yeah, no, I know. I work hard. I eat clean and all this stuff. And so, like, for me, though, I knew that there's one thing that I'm really good at, and that is getting out, hitting up cardio. I would do walks on the Bay all the time when I'm in San Diego. I actually live right next to an amazing dirt running trail. So it's dirt. It goes up a hill. So it's not just like that asphalt pounding. So I'm like, struggling up the hill. It's dirt. And, I had to stop because I'm maxing out. So I'm like running hills. And you get to this top, this beautiful panoramic of this incredible community that I live in. The Caribbean's there. The mountains are there. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love it. I actually did it tonight before our chat here. And it is something that I'm good at doing. But what am I not good at doing? I am not good at strength training on my own. I just fail. Like I go down with the best intentions and the weights are there and the dumbbells there and the kettlebells are there and the medicine balls are there. Like I have a beautiful gym in my house that I made as part, like
Nice.
When I bought this house, I'm like, that's going to be the gym. And I set up a beautiful gym in my house. But I could go down there to my heart's content, and I'm not going to get a meaningful strength and weights workout ever just on my own. So I had to hold myself accountable. And just like people have to hold themselves accountable with mastermind partners, with the Freedom Journal, when they have it there on their desk, on their nightstand, it won't let you fail. I had to put myself in a position where I could not fail. So I reached into my pocket, and we all know that, like, when we have to part with money, it makes things real. And I invested in a virtual trainer. It's the same virtual trainer that Pat Flynn uses. I was introduced to him, a couple of years ago by Pat Flynn, but I just wasn't ready then to go forward with it. But when I just realized that I wasn't going to succeed with weights and with lifting, and I knew I needed to at my age, I had to invest in myself. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m., 30 minutes, Skyping in just like this down in my gym. I've got the whole video set up. I'm doing a 30-minute workout with my trainer, Jeff. And that is critical. That makes me win. So I have always had the cardio side. I'm fine with that, which is why I've always been in good shape. But now I'm adding that Monday, Wednesday, Friday virtual training in my gym. And now I'm getting into great shape.
I'm curious. First of all, that's awesome, man. Congrats. I love that. Love that. Huge props. Question though, like why go through that? Like why do that? Because you were running, hey, I'm running, I'm in decent shape. I'm not like, why do that? Why take it to the next level, get a virtual trainer, commit 5 a.m.? Why is that important to you? And how do you think if and does it contribute to like your overall success in the business? I'm just curious.
Well, first off, I do have to qualify that. It's a 5 p.m. workout. So it's not quite as impressive as a 5 a.m. workout. 5 a.m. I'm still sleeping.
Regardless, yeah.
Yeah, but so for me, I believe this at the core of myself. Like, how you do something is how you do everything. So if I'm going to half-ass my workout, I'm going to half-ass my life. I'm going to half-ass my business. I'm going to half-ass my nutrition. And I don't want to do that. So I want to just take it to the limit. Now, I'm not saying that I want to kill myself and get burnt out. That's why it's only a 30-minute workout. Like, it's not like some marathon workout. But I want to take it to my limits, my reasonable limits, and crush it. And so I know that how I do something is how I do everything.
I love that. How I do something is how I do everything. I love that philosophy. To one, I live by myself. Hey, John, I'm curious. What motivates you, man? I think I have an idea, kind of somewhat, but what motivates you?
2 words, the ripple, or I better take away the, because that makes it 3. 2 words, ripple effect. I'm really passionate about the ripple effect. It's something that's really driven me and motivates me and drives me really every single day, because EO Fire, very successful podcast. We have over 2 million listens on a month-to-month basis. We've had over 40 million listens to date, reaches a lot of people in a lot of countries, impacts a lot of people. And I get emails from people that say, John, like, your show's inspired me. Thank you so much. I love those emails. So keep them coming, everybody. But the emails that I really love are from people that say, John, like, I was really inspired by your show, so I took action and I started my thing, or I set my goal and I did this or I did that, and I succeeded. And because of that, look at this email that I got from this person who was inspired by me. And I look at that and I say, that's like a 3rd degree of separation. That's like a ripple effect that, like, I literally had nothing to do, I had nothing to do with that 3rd degree except for the fact that I inspired that first person. And I never would have touched, that 3rd person. Think of that person now turning around and doing something that they love, and that ripple effect just continuing down. So, it's really like that butterfly flaps its wings in India that starts, a hurricane in Puerto Rico, whatever it might be. But the reality is ripple effect is real. And I realized that my show has a lot bigger impact than I even realized. Just like this interview is going to have a lot bigger impact than either one of us probably realized, because one person might watch this and forward it to their friend, and that friend might watch and be like, that was what I needed to hear. And then they go and they do something that they never would have done. And it started a chain reaction of awesome for them that then leads to who knows what. And that's what motivates me.
That is awesome. We're very similar, John. I'm the same way, man. There's nothing like that. There's no greater feeling than that feeling of, fulfillment. You've helped make a difference. Sometimes if people can see me in bed at night when I'm just laying there staring at the ceiling, smiling because of a couple of emails I've gotten, people would probably think I'm nuts, but there's something special about that. And like you said, who's to say? We just don't know the ripple effect. This interview, what you're doing, it's just incredible. So thanks for sharing that with us. I really appreciate it.
Welcome.
I have a question for you. So, and I'll start to wrap up here soon, but how do you stay, because you got a lot going on, man. How do you stay disciplined, focused, and motivated? You set these goals for yourself. Let's just say your workout. Okay, so now you have your virtual trainer, you have your runs you do. How do you stay disciplined, committed, focused on that? Like, is there like a formula? Is like, what keeps you focused, motivated, and accountable? I guess forget the accountability, but just focused and motivated. Forget your trainer. I don't want to give him credit. I want to give you credit. What keeps you focused, motivated, and disciplined?
Well, you've opened a door, Mike, so I'm going to step into that door because I don't even think that you've heard of this, to be honest.
I'm glad you did, because if you didn't, I was going to, but go
ahead. Something I've been working on all of 2016 because I saw the success of the Mastery Journal and the Freedom Journal. And the reason why the Freedom Journal was successful is because I saw that my guests on my show knew how to set and accomplish goals. They were successful entrepreneurs. They knew how to set and accomplish goals. So I created a tool for them for my listeners to do the same, to set and accomplish goals, to emulate successful entrepreneurs. So that worked. That was awesome. But then I kind of looked inside myself and I said, well, what do I excel at? And the three things that kept coming back to me that I really excel at, my three greatest strengths are productivity, discipline, and focus. Those are just my three greatest strengths. So I actually have been, in all of 2016, I've been working on creating the Mastery Journal. Master productivity, discipline, and focus in 100 days. It's launching January 23rd via Kickstarter. I'm very excited about it. If anybody wants to learn more about it, themasteryjournal.com. But to answer your question directly, and again, of course, I get into incredible detail in the book, but for me, productivity. I wake up every single morning and I know what I want to produce. So break down that word productivity into the word produce. The night before, I know what I'm going to wake up and my plan, and I know what I'm going to produce that day. So my productivity is based on, and I actually like to call it winning tomorrow today. So yesterday, I won today because I went to bed knowing what I was going to wake up and be off to the races doing. Disciplined. Like, how am I disciplined? Well, I know how to set a strategy. And this goes back to the email that I sent this morning. I know how to set a strategy and then stick to that plan. I am disciplined. I know how to do A, B, C equals Z, and then I stick to that plan. So I'm disciplined to that. And then focus, which is my favorite word, follow one course until success. I know that word inside and out. I know that if I have distractions, I lose. So I use a great app that people should check out if they struggle. It's called Stay Focused, where it will block you from Facebook and Instagram and all that crap that distracts you, and you just focus.
I love that, man. I just always wonder, where were these tools when a couple of years ago? But hey, they're here now.
Me too.
It
didn't happen when I launched, and I wish I did.
I'll say this, John, and just to go off of one more thing. It was today's email, and again, I wrote it down because there's a couple of things that just resonated. You quoted from John Wooden: "Never mistake activity for achievement." So meaning, just because you're doing goals and you think hey, I'm focused and I'm disciplined, don't mistake that kind of activity for achievement, because are you really achieving? And that's why, whether it's the Freedom Journal, whether it's the Mastery Journal, whether you find a way to do it your own way, as long as you're doing it correctly, effectively, consistently, unless you're doing that, there's no way we set up a healthy mind, healthy body, healthy business at the end of the day. But that is awesome, man. The fact you created that, I appreciate, you sharing that. I was going to share it anyways, but thanks for sharing it with us. I'm not going to keep you. What I want to do, man, is if people want to learn more, I appreciate your time, big time. But if people want to learn more about EO Fire, what you're up to, the Freedom Journal, the Mastery Journal, where can they go?
So all the magic happens at eofire.com. You can go there. I have free courses on podcasting, free courses on webinars, on funnels, on goals, all free, all courses. Check them out. They're amazing. And of course, thefreedomjournal.com and themasteryjournal.com. Those are the two places you can go to get my two just soul-giving journals, and I hope you check them out.
Awesome. Hey, John, man, seriously, I can't thank you enough for your time. This has been valuable beyond belief, so thank you so much. And next time you're in San Diego, man, let me know, all right?
Will do, brother.
All right, man, cheers.